St. Louis, Missouri. Dynamometer, Cummins, Missouri diesel, the Duppie. Dynamometer. We moved to St. Louis, where Dad became president of Cummins, Missouri Diesel Sales Corporation, and put me to work in the Cummins garage at age 12. The age he left his grandparents' farm to work odd jobs near Eugene, Oregon. One, trapping mink with an old trapper. As a young man, Dad worked his way through the Montana School of Mines in Butte, Montana, mining copper at night and fighting bare-fisted for money in Butte on the weekends. My brother and I miss him greatly. As Hamlet said of his father, quote, "He was a man, take him for all in all." Dynamometer. I remember the summers in Dad's garage as sick diesel's bowels were being checked. Pistons, heads, cylinders, valves, injectors, all adjusted and torqued by sweating surgeons sliding under their patients on creepers, Crablike doctors scudding on rollers of steel. These men were my idols, greased to rumble, swearing at each other and the dynamometer as it screamed to test the heart of one more engine made to run on simulated highways of stress. But who measured r.p.m.s for these healers to ensure that they could last the road? That Pistons wore coats of Prussian blue to ease them through hard eons of usage? Or that their heads were ground perfectly to maintain clearances when half crazy? Or that their cylinders were calibrated to take the wear of O-rings from within? Or that their valves were well seated to hold in energy, release the waste? These questions deepened every summer as I returned to the dynamometer's roar and listened to diesels running full throttle. Cummins, Missouri diesel. Pleasures of work, my first job. Cummins, Missouri diesel. As grease monkey, my work began in the boiler room, cleaning oil and grease from disemboweled diesel engines. The steam shot from a long gray snake of hose tipped with a slanting nozzle of copper pipe, with a shut-off valve in the midsection to control the white laser of heat. Every morning, piles of diesel parts lay waiting from the night shift. Oil pans, cylinders, rocker arms, crankshafts, pistons, injectors, engine blocks, all to be cleaned and stacked on the other side of the bleak room. I loved this job, almost invisible within my steam cloud, cutting through time's grime, rendering the used and greasy into miracles of shiny potential. Of all the parts, the crankshafts were my favorite. Their stainless steel shafts and convoluted ellipsoids emerging radiant with power, mystery, and grace. The Duppie. In the transition between our move from Kansas City to St. Louis, my brother Kirby and I were put in Wiggins Ozark Camp, where this bizarre congruence of Haitian folklore and our young minds intersected. The Duppie. We ended the 9th day of camp with our routine game of capture the flag, playing until we could barely see. After the last kid had been caught, we ambled off to our cabins, got our flashlights and dop kits, went to the bathhouse to use the toilet, brushed our teeth, and returned to our bunks. There were 16 kids in my cabin, Potawatomi, and each of us became, starting on that night, the willing sacrifices to Philippe's capacity for storytelling. That night, as we all lay staring up into the darkness, tasting our toothpaste, he began to initiate us into the spirit world. His voice was low and sonorous, hypnotic. I want all of you to look into the darkness around you and imagine that you are part of it, that your bodies do not exist, that your spirit is floating in the darkness. When I was your age, I lived with my grandmother in Haiti. It was she who taught me about the Duppie. A moment ago, when I told you to let yourselves float into the dark, the essences that momentarily left your body was your Duppie. And it is a powerful thing. It can hurt people. A spirit, free and dangerous. Each night, Philippe would deliciously heighten our terror through more and more stories. The whooping boy, the Duppie dog, the rolling calf, the blood river, the three-legged horse, all becoming part of our dreams, our nightmares. For the rest of that summer, and for a few of us, the rest of our lives, we released our own Duppies at night, seeking fathers in the darkness we had become.